Hi, how are you guys? Welcome to Fans of the Framework. My name is Jane McLeod, and we're spending some time this August talking to you about your personal resiliency. And why do we have a resiliency series for leaders? Well, there's two whys behind it. The first one is just naturally as leaders, we are givers instead of takers, right? Sometimes I think that employees everywhere think, well, my leader just takes and takes and takes and never gives anything back. Wrong. Traditionally, most of the time we are givers rather than takers. And guess what? We leaders in healthcare, it's twice as bad, right? It's twice as bad. We tend to be way more giving than we are taking. So as a result of that, 1 in 3 of us that works in healthcare today, whether you be in leadership or not, is suffering from a loss of resiliency or burnout. Okay, suffering from a loss of resiliency or burnout. So we have to focus on ourselves. So this resiliency series is really all about taking micro steps. Because if it seems too overwhelming to you, if it seems like this huge project to make yourself healthier and to make yourself more resilient, you're not likely going to do it, right? I just said that. We put ourselves on the back burner all the time. So what does it mean to take micro steps towards making a better you, making yourself more resilient? Okay, last week we focused on movement, micro steps of movement, and how to get more in your day and how to, really practice moving. Today is all about sleep. Okay, so sleep is vital to our leadership. Doesn't make any sense, does it? It's usually between eating, sleeping, and moving. It's usually the one that you're like, and you break up. And you just kind of blow it off. But it's the one that you should really focus the most attention on. And I'm going to tell you why. Again, our organizations have changed. Our employees have changed. We as leaders need to change. And what will you change? So adequate sleep, not just adequate sleep as in quantity, but quality of sleep, really, really effective sleep is vital to your memory, your mood, and your ability to learn. Your memory, your mood, and your ability to learn. So I want you to think about how your job as a leader or someone that works in healthcare has changed. We are now surrounded by robots, by technology. Almost everything we do has a piece of technology associated with it. And in fact, some of our jobs have been taken away by technology. So what do our organizations need from us the most, right? They need our creativity, our passion and excitement for our roles that we provide, and our energy. Our creativity, our passion and excitement for what we do, and our energy, great energy. They can buy technology to really provide them with almost everything else we do, but they cannot take away who we are and what we do that's different from everybody else. Creativity, passion and excitement, and great energy. So let's talk about creativity. I hear all the time, Jane, I'm just not creative. Don't you ever find if you consider yourself a creative person for whatever reason, maybe you know how to crochet or something, but I hear that all the time. Well, I'm just not creative, and it's as though we just shut that off. Well, I was so excited to be able to talk to you today because I learned from Psychology Today. Psychology Today being the magazine, but I learned it today as well, that I'll read it from you, actually. Creativity is not a gift. It is the natural capacity of all humans. Whoa. Creativity is not a gift. It is the natural capacity of all humans. So in today's working world, we are called to be more creative, more passionate and excited about what we do, and have more energy to do it because machines can't replace any of that. How will you get it? Sleep. Effective, amazing, over the top sleep. In fact, the article that I read from Psychology Today is, and I'd be glad to share that with you, it is what I just quoted. Creativity is not a gift that some of us are born with and some of us are not. It's the natural capacity of all human beings. So, some things that you do every single day are robbing you of sleep. I will leave that up to you to figure out, okay? But one thing that I do want to talk to you about is your use of technology. And using technology within 2 hours of sleep, there was a huge study done by Michigan State University, go Sparties, that the results were that those people who used any form of technology, and again, television is not counted as technology unless you leave it on all night while you're trying to sleep, Karen Stockton. But if you use technology such as reading emails, scrolling through Facebook or whatever within 2 hours of sleep, you are less productive and more irritable the next day. These are findings by Michigan State University. Less productive and more irritable the next day. Well, how can you be creative and energetic and passionate and excited about what you do if you're crabby? Right? You can't. As well as Psychology Today tells us that the last cycle of REM sleep that we achieve closest to waking in the morning is the most vital for us. And also the most vital thing that we can do is to really pay attention to what our waking thoughts are. They are a reflection of the work that our brain did all night long. Really pay attention to what your waking thoughts are, because they are a reflection of what your brain did all night long, and they may give you answers that you've been seeking. But what do? The alarm clock goes off, which PS is a stupid cell phone, and so you pick it up and you start reading your work emails, you start seeing who was on Facebook in the middle of the night randomly because they have no life. And here we go, right? Another day off to the horse races without even paying attention to self and what your body was doing all night long. So there's a great leader of a group of nursing homes who recently has noticed the change in himself just by charging his phone somewhere else, right? Putting his phone away from the bed. Reserve bed, right? Reserve bed, 2 things, sex and sleep. No cell phones, okay? So how are we going to solve this? 3 big things. 3 big things. There are so many to choose from. There is so much research out there. Again, I recommend the book Eat, Move, Sleep by Tom Rath, because he really talks about micro steps towards better sleep as well. But I really want to focus on 3 of them today. And that is to, make sure you protect, as if your life depended on it, because it does. As if your job depends on it, because it does. As if your mood, your creativity, your passion, your excitement, and your energy depends on it, because it does. Protect your sleep. We are called upon from a quantity perspective to get between 7 and 9 hours of sleep a day. Unless you're a teenager, then it's more, or a baby, and it's even more than that. Dang, those kids got it good. But if you are greater than age 65, 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So protect your 7 to 9 hours of sleep as if your life depended on it. And I am a princess about my sleep. And there is a significant human in my life, Susan Elaine Tetzloff, that, makes fun of me for this all the time. But why? It's because I know myself. And I have noticed that if I, am up late, I'm out talking, I'm out late, eating late, drinking late, technology late, guess what? I am not as good as I need to be the next day. And when I used to think of it as a gift that I gave, those that I served the next day, which it certainly is, but it also needs to be a gift you give yourself. So this has to be something that you have a plan for. that you make conscious effort toward, and that you communicate your plan, your goals to someone else. So obviously, I have to communicate it to those people around me. When my children text me at 11 o'clock at night and can't figure out why they aren't getting an answer, I'm like, dude, mother goes to bed at 8:30. It doesn't matter if it's summer and it's light. I don't care. I go to bed at 8:30. I arise at 5. End of story. Okay? So, second thing, sleep trackers. And what research recommends is that we use sleep trackers to know ourselves, and because it's just great data and great feedback, but then you put them away. Do not become obsessed with them. And I think that is just amazing, over the top, great advice, because, we should not become obsessed with, any form of data, borders on weird. Okay. So, but they have really amazing data and feedback to give you to really focus on, do I get enough deep sleep? Do I get enough light sleep? And do I get enough REM? And when does my last cycle of REM happen traditionally? And I drank red wine. Oh, geez, look at the nights, Friday night dates that I drank red wine. Guess what? My sleep wasn't restful. I could feel that the next day on Saturday, that I didn't feel well rested, but then data shows me that answer as well. Same thing with using technology. If I decide, I'm just going to take some time, work right up until 9 when I go to bed, and then I will feel better because I've achieved something and put it to rest, so to speak. I don't. My mind is still doing this. You can't just shut it off, right? You're not on autopilot. You're not a robot. So use a sleep tracker, learn from it, get good data, good objective data, really validate what you maybe already know about yourself, but you can tell others and show others, and then put it away. The third thing is rebound sleep. Remember back in the day when studies about sleep would say to us, you can't make up your sleep. You have to get between 7 and 9 hours, and or you lose it forever, right? Well, not true. They just call it something new now, and the new thing is called rebound, like rebound sleep. So if you're not going to get between your 7 and 9 hours, or maybe that some of the habits that you're going to practice today are going to be, it's going to affect your sleep, allow yourself to sleep more the next day. Your body is just naturally going to want to do it within 24, 48, 72 hours after an event where you traveled late, you went to a party, you stayed up late, you worked late, you volunteered to do something in the middle of the night, whatever it is, then your body can rebound from it. So if you decide that one of the sleep hygiene things that you're going to do is to always have a stable, I go to bed at this time and I wake up at this time, remember, you need to forgive yourself. Forgiveness, umbrella of grace. Remember, you need to forgive yourself on that particular day, because you need your rebound, right? You need your rebound. So rebounding is a good thing. Rebounding is a good thing. I just want to put a plug in for my homies, the night shifters that all work with you and for you. That's another whole animal. But, I've just told you, and research tells us how incredibly important sleep is to our ability to think clearly and have passion, excitement, energy, and creativity about what we do. And for those of you who work in a hospital, guess what? You got stuff going on that's maybe be causing, a lack of resiliency in your night shift workers. So having been a night shift worker for a lot of my career, I know how it felt. You didn't ever feel great. right? You didn't ever feel great. So what can we do as leaders? And the first thing is to have a great understanding that when a day shifter walks into your office and freaks out on you, it might be a little bit different when a night shifter walks out. It's like right away, okay, how did you sleep yesterday? Are you caring for yourself? So ask that question first. So next week, eat. Okay, eating in the Eat, Move, Sleep series. Can't wait to bring that live to you next week from Colorado, where I'll be working next week. So resiliency topics are something that Sue and I get asked to speak on all the time. And why? Because, it's a profound effect on your ability to lead and work effectively. So it's a part of our framework, which I've explained already. But if you want to find out more, attend a Capstone Leadership Summit. We talk, there's a topic there called Grace Under Fire, a leader's resiliency. Not only will you learn way cool stuff about how to lead effectively, but to incorporate on a daily basis your personal resiliency in your leadership. www.capstoneleadership.net. Find out more. Go to our training events page. Thanks. I hope you have an amazing day.